In July 25, 2020, a Japanese-controlled bulk carrier, MV Wakashio, was traveling from China to Brazil to transport goods and cargo across the ocean. The ship was navigating through challenging waters off the southeastern coast of Mauritius. The weather conditions were reportedly poor, with reduced visibility and rough seas. All of a sudden, the ship unintentionally ran aground on a coral reef near the Point D'Annecy, which was not far from the town of Mahibor. This caused a breach in the ship's hull, leading to the release of fuel oil into the surrounding waters. It was estimated that the MV Wakashio leaked about 1,000 metric tons, or approximately 3.5 million gallons of fuel oil into the pristine waters off the coast of Mauritius. Rashmi, the wife of a witness to the oil spill incident, said that the grounding occurred on 25th of July but did not start leaking immediately. The dreaded oil spill started a week later on the 6th of August 2020. At the time, authorities were trying to control the oil spill and had already started isolating sensitive areas of the coast.
While everyone helped to make sure the oil didn't spread, the aftermath of the oil spill still brought death. Many dolphins were found dead on the coast, followed by fish and even birds. This is what has brought my family such hardships. My husband, who would go fishing to then sell to the hotels, was now faced with a difficult situation. Following the oil spill, the government restricted the area and forbade the fishermen from doing their activities until further notice. It was only after a year that the fishermen, my husband included, were able to start their normal activities again.
The devastating impact on the people of Mauritius became painfully evident as the once thriving coastal communities faced hardships, loss of livelihoods, and ecological damage due to the MV Wakashio oil spill. Now, as we delve into the heart of the matter, let's begin by understanding oil spills and oil pollution.
Oil pollution incident refers to an occurrence which results in an oil discharge and which poses a threat to the marine environment or to the coastline or related interests of one or more states and which requires emergency action or other immediate response. As we know, oil spill disrupts ecosystems, contaminating water, soil, and air, resulting in biodiversity loss. It also devastates fish populations, leading to declines and rendering them unsafe for consumption. Birds suffer as oil coats their feathers, causing poisoning and contributing to population declines. The cleanup of oil spills involves costly equipment, manual efforts by workers, and long-term economic consequences. Amidst the waves emerges our protagonist, the Oil Pollution Preparedness Convention, a beacon of hope in our shared responsibility to protect our oceans. Recognizing the need for collective action, nations around the world have come together under this convention. This landmark agreement stands as a testament to our shared responsibility to protect the world's oceans. OPRC, short for the International Convention on Oil Pollution Preparedness, Response and Cooperation, was adopted on the 30th of November 1990. This convention was drafted within the framework of the International Maritime Organization. The International Maritime Organization is a specialized agency for the United Nations that is responsible for improving the safety and security of international shipping and preventing marine pollution from ships. The OPRC entered into force on the 13th of May 1995 with 34 states involved at the time. It is designed to facilitate international cooperation and mutual assistance in preparing for and responding to a major oil pollution incident, and to encourage states to develop and maintain an adequate capability to deal with oil pollution emergencies. As of November 2018, there are about 112 state parties to the convention. This convention applies to vessels of any type operating in the marine environment, including hydrofoil boats, air cushion vehicles, submersibles, and floating craft of any type. It also applies to fixed or floating offshore installation or structures engaged in gas or oil exploration, exploitation or production activities, or loading or unloading of oil, and seaports and oil handling facilities such as seaports, oil terminals, and pipelines. However, it shall not apply to any warship, naval auxiliary, or other ship owner or operated by a state and used only on government non-commercial service. It also does not cover non-oil pollution, non-maritime environments such as terrestrial and freshwater ecosystems, biological and genetic damage, as well as events related to war or armed conflict. This convention uses an annex system for these few reasons. It provides a structured way to present detailed information, eases the amendment of the convention, or to update specific technical details, provides technical information and details of the convention, and ensures a consistent format of the convention to legal practitioners and policy makers.
Moving on to the obligation of this convention, each party shall require the operators of offshore unit under its jurisdiction have oil pollution emergency plans, which are coordinated with the national system established in accordance with Article 6 and approved in accordance with procedure established by the competent national authority. The OPRC also placed obligation on member states to establish and maintain a national system for responding to oil pollution incidents, including the development of national contingencies plans and the availability of response equipment and personnel. There are several principles in the OPRC that aligns with the principle of law in the Rio Declaration. The first one states that the parties to the convention are conscious of the needs to preserve the human environment in general and marine environment in particular, which align with the Principle 7 in the Rio Declaration. The next principle aligns with Principle 15. Subsequently, the next one which stated mindful also that in the event of an oil pollution incidents, prompt and effective action is essential in order to minimize the danger which may result from such an incident, aligns with Principle 18 and 19. The next one aligns with Principle 9 of the Rio Declaration, then Principle 16 and finally Principle 13. In the case of an oil discharge event, master or person in charge should fly its flag. If it's a ship, it should report to the nearest coastal state, whereas an offshore unit should report to the coastal state whose jurisdiction the unit is subject. The person in charge should report without any delay, or request pilots or civil aircraft to report without any delay to the nearest coastal state. After a party receives a report, it shall assess the event to determine whether it is an oil pollution. Then, assess the nature, extent and possible consequences of the incident. The party shall immediately inform all states that are affected, together with details if any action were taken to deal with the incident.
Back to the case of the Mauritius oil spill. The captain, Indian national Sunil Kumar Nandeshwar, admitted to drinking moderately during a birthday party on board before the MV Wakashio ran aground on the 25th of July 2020. The case was eventually taken to the Mauritian Supreme Court for dispute settlement. There were several reports made by the Japan Transport Safety Board that shed light on what was actually happening during the event of the oil spill. The captain of the vessel, Sunil, ordered the diversion of the vessel from its planned route to approach the coast without obtaining the marine charts of the area. The ship diverted from the 22 nautical mile gap from the island to merely 2 nautical miles from the island to enter an area that allowed connection to the mobile phone network so that the crew could contact their loved ones. Eventually, the captain was found guilty under the 2007 Merchant Shipping Act and the Court of Investigation Mauritius and admitted to being moderately under the influence of alcohol. The first officer, Hiti Henilage, was also convicted. Both the men were sentenced to prison for 20 months and remained for an additional 4 months as the magistrate added that they failed to monitor the ship because they were too distracted looking for a Wi-Fi signal. They had both pleaded guilty to endangering safe navigation. The owner of Wakashio filed a motion for the liability to be $16.8 million as a form of dispute settlement. As of now, there is hope for the marine ecosystems in Mauritius. In June of this year, in a statement given by Nagasaki Shipping, the owner of Wakashio, all of the 1,000 tons of oil spilled were recovered. The planned retrieval of the rare portion of the vessel will begin in late December of this year and will last several months. These prompt actions align with the articles of OPRC, specifically the aforementioned principle that aligns with Principle 15 of the Rio Declaration. OPRC may not have been directly involved in a Mauritius oil spill, but they have left behind a framework for fixing the aftermath of the oil spills. From here on out, the Mauritius oil spill has alerted the public as well as vessel operators on the devastating effects of oil spills on the marine environment. With the OPRC being ratified by 112 state parties, there is hope for the conservation of the marine environment in cases of accidental oil spills. The ocean will be able to recover at a quicker rate, and these mitigation measures will not only benefit the marine environment but also the stakeholders involved in the convention. The continuous efforts done by state parties in ensuring the compliance of the aforementioned laws, as well as initiatives taken by local authorities in mitigating oil spills, highlighted the importance of establishing clear and concise regulations. With the rate at which the oil spill in Mauritius is recovering, there will soon be no disastrous remnants of the oil spills, and the rest will be history.